Hello everybody, you're welcome to my school news. Today we are going to be talking about something that affects everybody in the educational system. It is very important that we talk about this because it has become a trend in society, especially in Nigeria. My name is Salome, and yes, today we will be talking about discipline in the Nigerian institutions, especially primary and secondary schools. Now, to start with, what is discipline in general? Discipline is just a way to make sure that you keep yourself on the right track. For example, you know that you have a class by 8 a.m. If you are disciplined enough, you will wake up right on time to prepare yourself for class so that you can be there on time and get a good spot for yourself. Now, when you are not disciplined, there are a lot of things that could go wrong. For example, if you're a student in university and you are not disciplined, not only will you be missing your classes, you could miss tests, you could miss exams, and that could just lead to a very, very huge failure in your academic life. So, discipline is very, very important. There is no way we can do without discipline in today's society, starting from students to marriages to careers. Every sector in life, you will need discipline to be successful in that sector. However, where does the line get blurred? That is what we will be exploring in today's video. So I'm sure you might have come across this video that trended online some weeks back, where a teacher was being harassed by a parent. So apparently there was a video that surfaced on Twitter, and in the video we saw a male parent came to school to kind of harass a female teacher, and people were just focusing on the fact that a man should not be doing that to a woman and stuff like that. People were just having their opinions, but a lot of the opinions were siding with the teacher. I saw many comments like, if you know you don't want your child to be beaten, why did you send your child to school? So the child of this parent was supposedly disciplined by the teacher, and the parents came to school and was very, very angry. Now, to balance both sides, I've seen situations where a child is very, very stubborn. A child is very stubborn, is a very big problem to the school, to his peers, to his friends. And when they beat that child up or probably discipline that child, just the slightest form of discipline causes the parents to run coming to school, crying and shouting and making a scene. And that makes you to understand why the child is even very stubborn in the first place, because the parents do not want to exert discipline on such a child. But on the other hand, while people were saying that, if you don't want your child to be beaten, if you don't want your child to be disciplined, they don't send him to school, this generation, I pity for this generation. I was saying comments like, I pity for this generation, you don't want your child to be disciplined, blah, 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 this and that. There should be a line that should not be crossed, because nobody really knows what happened in the video. Like, in the video only showed a part. Nobody really knows what happened. Nobody knows what made the parents become so agitated that they had to come to school. I have a friend, that has a scar at her back, and apparently she was beaten when she was in secondary school by a teacher for something she didn't even do. It was later they found out that she wasn't even the person that stole the item that they thought she stole, and she now has a permanent scar on her back. Something like that could make a parent come to school in anger to defend their child, because even you as a person, there is a way someone will be treated and you would not like it. It would look very inhuman. For instance, there is this photo that will be shown on the screen now. Imagine your child goes through this. You're probably coming back home from a very tiring day, and then you come and meet your child in such a state with this kind of mark on his or her head in the name that they didn't do assignments, or they didn't sweep the ground, or some flimsy excuses from the teacher. You come and meet your child in this state. That is very bad. Something like this could have made a parent, come to school, to come and protest, to come and talk about it, to come and be angry and to show their anger. So there should be a line. Whenever you want to discipline a child as a teacher, you have to remember that this child is a human being. This child has rights, this child has parents, and this child is tender. Children in primary and secondary school should not be handled anyhow, because they're in their formative years. Sometimes discipline has gone to a stage of bullying. It's no longer discipline, it's just a frustrated teacher pouring out their anger issues on a child. You will see an adult with a scar that they've had for years from a secondary school teacher. Some adults right now are products of the bullies of some teachers because of in the name of discipline, and those products are also bullying other people. So they see it as a continuous, they see it as a way of expressing their anger. So when you do something to them, because they were helpless in the past, they vow that, okay, this time I'm not going to be helpless, so therefore I'm going to to make sure that anybody that crosses my path will collect. This kind of things is very unhealthy for the society. It's very unhealthy to have a child being sent to school only to return home with scars, only to return home with blood. There was even a video that also trended on social media weeks back, where I saw a child was on the floor. Apparently the child had fainted from the teacher beating the child, and in the video the teacher was saying, "Hey, you are pretending. By the time you finish pretending, you wake up and I will continue to beat you." This is how this child passed out, and they had to rush the child to the hospital. That is very bad. Yes, there are cases where you have to discipline the children. But I do believe that there are other forms of discipline. I think as Africans, we just like or tend to hold on to that Bible passage that says, "Spare the rod and spoil the child." Please, the Bible speaks figuratively. If you look at the Bible very, it speaks figuratively. You don't have to use a rod to finish someone's child. And if you must use a rod, use a rod on yourself. You've not finished disciplining yourself. You want to kill somebody else's child. That's very bad. So please, there are other ways that you can discipline a child. For example, I have a lot of my friends in the educational sector. I even have my family members, they're my cousins. I have my cousins that are teachers, and most of them do not even have to beat the students, for the students to be obedient and for the students to be disciplined. They simply have other ways of giving them discipline. For example, my aunt, who is a teacher, would prefer that her students who has done something wrong stays behind while other people go. So while other students are free for the day, they close by 2, these other students have to stay behind and write an apology letter on 15 different papers. Now that is a very good way to discipline a child, because children like to be with their peers, they like to be free. So when you take away a little bit of that freedom from them, they tend to listen to you more and respect you more, other than beating them. Another angle to beating is the fact that children can become so used to beating that the discipline you are trying to instill in them will not even take it. They're just used to you beating them, I mean. So therefore, they will not even want to take that advice or that discipline that you're trying to instill in them. So find other ways. I believe that teachers could find other ways to discipline children. It could be something as simple as probably you want to show this child that, okay, what you have done is not good. You could buy some other, maybe a little bit of sweets for other students, and this particular student, you just make sure that he or she doesn't get any. Things like that could just make the child realize that, okay, my teacher must be really, really angry with me. And when it comes to students in secondary school, because obviously the sweet is not going to get to them, it could be something as simple as giving them a plot of land. In my secondary school, one reason why I really, really feared our disciplinarian in the school was just because of the fact that man will never beat you. But the punishment he will give you, you will even prefer that this man beats you. The kind of punishment he will give you, you can never see a mark on your body, but you will feel it. For example, there was a time we misbehaved as a class, right? When SS2, and this man just came and was like, "Okay, SS2 students, I have a job for you." This man took us to somebody's farm and told us to clear the farm. This farm was very big. Told us to clear the entire farm for free. We were working from 9 a.m. in the morning down till 2. My dears, when we were done with this work, there was no single person that had the audacity to repeat that same mistake we made again. So there are different ways you can find, discipline children, you can discipline students, teenagers. It doesn't have to be beating. You don't have to beat a child up so badly that they get hurt. Again, it's balance. Because for some children, until they see the king, they will not calm down. Yes, some of my baby cousins are like that. No matter the punishment you give them, if you don't raise Cain up, they will not calm down. But in doing so, you must make sure that you don't do this out of anger. Because by the time you are pouring your frustration out on a child, or because children can be very annoying. Yes, I know that from interacting with them, they can push you very well. They can be very annoying. So it is best that if you are annoyed, you just calm down. By the time you are calm, you can be able to give them more appropriate measures of discipline than just beating them out of anger and out of frustration. With this video, I hope that we all have a rethink about how we approach discipline, because of course discipline is needed in life. Like I said in the beginning, every sector, everywhere you go to, anywhere you want to succeed, you must be disciplined. If you are not disciplined, if you are not properly trained from little to be disciplined with yourself, you are not going to succeed. So we see again in our next video. I remain Salome. This is my school news. Please ensure that you like, you share, you subscribe, and please tell us in the comment sections other ways that you think is better than beating a child in order to instill discipline. Till next time I will come away again. Bye.
My School News TV, giving you a voice.